Hey YouTube, it's been a while since I've last posted. But a few months ago, I was bored on a Saturday and decided to try AI and building something out of it. And then, what do you know? Today, I actually built 5 different apps and started my own LLC. Um, and I kind of just want to share this journey with you all since this channel is all about learning. So I want to just go over like how I got started in this video, it'll capture more of the high level, kind of like what prompted me to start, what tools I've used, and what I've built so far. And then later on, I will probably make individual videos that deep dive on each individual applications I've built. And I'm also not really great at creating videos like this, so I had AI create me a PowerPoint to hopefully make this a bit more smooth with some visuals. So the second slide here is kind of the different apps I built, the journey, the timeline. It all started when I lost a video game on a Saturday, and I was like, "Hey, let's just try doing something productive." So I was like, hey, can I make an app with AI? And that idea kind of started because at work, I've been exposed to a lot of AI technology and I was like very impressed. So I was like, what's out there right now that I can use personally? So after some Googling, I decided to go with Claude AI. Claude was very cheap. I didn't do too much research, but I think they gave me like a free trial and I did some prompting. And I was like pretty impressed. I was like, hey, let's try this out. $200 for a year sounds, very cheap. If you hired a actual software developer, that could be, 100 to 200K a year, which is insane. So my first idea was more just playing around and seeing like, can I even produce something useful? So a little bit about myself is, and this is relevant to the first app. Um, my job is a consultant in Anaplan, and Anaplan is a platform that I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but very high level. It's like a tool for businesses to kind of automate their business, and it's connected planning. You can create your own relationships within your business data sets, and then you can receive inputs from users and generate calculations off of that. So it's a very powerful, flexible tool that you can customize, and there's many different use cases, such as like finance, workforce planning, or whatever. The cool thing is like um, it's really good for planning and forecasting because like it can receive inputs and outputs, and it creates really nice visuals. So in my day to day, I always have some challenges when building off of Anaplan. So I was like, hey, can I use AI to build me something that can assist me in my work? So that's where I came up with ModelBuilderTools.com. My first app is actually a website, and I can hop over there real quick in my first tab. So in my first day, I actually built a whole damn website, and it actually looks really cool. Um, it didn't look like this at first, but it was like 80% of it was already built in the first day with just simple prompts. So my prompt was something like, hey, can you research Anaplan best practices? So Anaplan has their own like community and documentation. And I was like, hey, first become like a subject matter expert about Anaplan. So Claude did that. And then two was I brainstormed ideas on like what is something simple that can produce value really quick for myself. So it came up with ideas that like, hey, we can optimize formulas for you. So when you're like building, imagine like Excel formulas, but you don't really have to know. Like you just prompt it in English, like, hey, I want to do a lookup on something, right? So using English to give me back the proper code and Anaplan on what it should be. Same thing with like data type conversions. A lot of times you have to do like text to date or text to int or something. And some of that is easy, but some of it sometimes can still take me like 15 minutes just to remember or Google what the correct formulas are, what the parameters are. Um, so basically, create a website that just offers, um, think of it as like almost like calculator tools for you. It's just like input what you want, and it outputs the code that you can just copy and paste. The cool thing about this is um, you don't actually like put in sensitive information here. So these are all just like very generic, like, hey, this is what I want to do. Um, so yeah, this is pretty safe. And there is a little bit of conflicts of interest with my job if I were to keep working on this and building this to be really, really good. So this was really just for fun, very simple. I did stick a something called like a model health scanner, which basically you can export a file of all your formulas into here, and it'll just tell you like, hey, you can optimize these formulas, right? Like, there's too many if statements here. You can break this out, or the size of this model is too huge. We gotta like tackle this. So a lot of these like are really just time savers. You don't really need this. So I also don't really see too many people using this website because it's such a small community of people who actually understands Anaplan. Again, this was just for fun, and it only cost me uh, about like $15 a year just to keep this running. So I was like, hey, maybe in the future, I'll come back to this. And I have a lot of ideas, but it's not something I want to keep working on just because my company could just be like one day be like, hey, this is mine now because this is related to my job. So after building that, my next idea was a automated trading bot. So I was like, hey, is it possible to build my own, bot that can trade stocks for me? So right now, I did actually build out. So Claude AI came back and was like, yeah, it's very doable, and a lot of people do this. But it's not a guarantee that like it's gonna make money. Um, I myself do know a bit about stocks, so I know a lot of the terminology, the methodologies, and I wanted to make a trading bot that can only lose up to like what you put in. So this means like no margins, no shorting. And the first method I wanted to do was swing trading. So the idea is that my bot will start buying stocks, and then like after like three days or 2 weeks, it'll basically sell that for a higher price is the idea. So I told Claude to again do research on what's out there, what's popular, what's worked, and then taking those ideas, and then it came up with like a process for me that like with these parameters, this budget, it's gonna start basically every day, run on its own, and do trading, and it's gonna keep learning. So far, it's been up and down, mostly down. So I think uh, I don't know like how well it's built, but we'll see. It's using paper money right now, so I hooked up with Alpaca API, which is a real brokerage account. So eventually, I can flip the toggle that start using real money. But again, I mean, the bot is until the bot shows me it can beat the S&P 500, I'm probably not going to turn that on. But it's still a very really cool experiment in my opinion. Yeah, I think I have this up here. So again, this spot is not perfect. Some of these like stats are not even true. Like I didn't make 89K. So this is all paper money. I start with 100K, so I'm actually down $130 right now. But you can see if I go to the monthly view, um, yeah, started with 100, it went up a bit and kind of going down a lot, almost down like 14K here, and then started picking back up. And I don't expect this to, make money in the first month or even 2 months or even half a year. Like it's gonna basically it needs to just trade a lot, and then it's gonna keep learning off of itself. Um, and you can also do back testing on like historical data sets. Um, like I'm not like 100% uh, sure that the bot works the way it is. It does get a little bit complicated. But basically, all I did was I prompted Claude AI and followed all the instructions to set all this up. And this is, and I'll make a video on this later on the very technical side of things. But like this is automatic. This runs every single day. When market opens, it actually does trades all on its own. And I think this probably cost me again very cheap. It might just be like five bucks a month. Um, so that's the second thing I made. Hopefully this eventually makes me money. Now the third thing, this is actually I would say the biggest time investment for me, and this is what I'm continuously trying to improve. So TableMesh is my first like mobile app that I created. This started out again using Claude, and I had this one idea where it actually came from. I had this idea actually like 4 to 5 years ago, but I don't have a coding background. I don't have the time to build apps. But the app, I mean the problem I always had was when I'm traveling alone abroad, and I love traveling, I love food. One issue I have is like when I go to a nice restaurant, I usually can only choose one option because I can only eat one dish and then I'm full. I can get a few and then not eat it all, but like that's such a waste. So the idea was, what if I could build an app that can connect me to strangers or locals? So like I can post a dining request out there and then say like, hey, I'm going to this dim sum place in 2 days. Does 2 or 3 people want to join me? You post that request out, and then people can actually discover it. Within your uh, like 15-mile radius or something, and then they can request to join. There's a approval process, but high level, the idea is just like, how can I get people to kind of share a meal together and then split the bill? Um, so that's how it first started out, and Claude AI actually built me a website to do this, and then as I started building it, it became more and more like it's not only that now. It's like now it's like, hey, it's a productivity tool that uh, you don't have to invite strangers. It can just be for your internal friends or group, but it's a tool that makes it very easy. Like you just set up your time, the place you want to go to eat, how many people you want to join, and you can there's more things you can fill out like your diet or allergies. But once that request is created, it's just one button. You can send that out to like all your friends that you want to invite, maybe like 10 people, and then see like the app will actually track like of the 10 people, only four accepted or something. So it's a RSVP logistics tool. Um, and the people you invite don't actually even need the app. It sends a link out, and they can actually RSVP as a guest on the website. So that's just one component of it. The second component is like how it's got started. So you still have the ability to actually share that request to the public, and then see if anyone local wants to join. So that there's kind of like a networking, dating element to this. There's also like finding food buddies where you can swipe left and right, kind of like your standard dating app. But it's not really meant for dating. It's just like, hey, because a lot of times like I have a lot of friends, but my friends don't really have the same food interests as me, or they don't have the same budget. So I think it's really nice to like, especially when you're moving to a new city, just another way to make friends. It doesn't always have to be focused on dating. It could just be like networking or um, foodies, essentially. And then finally, the third thing I think, which is so cool, is restaurants will be able to post discounts catered to group size. Because my app is all about, sorry, one second. So my app is all about bringing groups to the table, right? So for restaurants, that's actually very beneficial in two different ways. One, if they post a discount, it ties to all dining requests automatically. So like if someone says they're going to this dim sum place, that dim sum place, if they have a discount set up, it automatically like will show up. And then two is if they upgrade, there's a feature where if you put in a timing, so like especially like on non-peak hours for restaurants, um, if they put in the time and the discount, it'll also automatically generate a dining request that no one owns, but it'll like display. Um, I'm trying to not make advertisement too spammy, but so it'll be spaced out. But like basically, people can discover these discounts and then they can claim it, assemble their own group, and then basically go to the restaurant for that discount. Um, so that's kind of the three major workflows so far with this app. I have a website here, TableMesh.com. Um, this one took me probably almost the full 3 months to get to where I am right now. I think I am finally stabilized, and this is actually on the both Google Store and the Apple Store. So right now, I actually hired a marketing team to try to get users to my app because I don't really have the time for that. And again, I have my 9 to 5 job, so I don't actually have that much experience in marketing. So did need some help with that. If I scroll down a little bit, there's actually some examples of the app right here. I think it's actually pretty well made. There might be like little bugs or something, but I actually see a lot of potential in this app, and I'm gonna invest a lot of my time and money to try to make this work. And I think this will probably the most interesting app to share with you all throughout this journey. Going back to the timeline, then on the side, I it took me another like 1 to 3 days to create a game. Um, because like once I got to the stage where I it's released on App Store and Play Store, it kind of means like I did all the dev work already. It's like stabilized. I don't want to really create too much more features yet because that could also cause more bugs. I kind of want to stay at a stable stage and then start getting users now before I continue building more on TableMesh. So now on the side, there's this really fun game that I played in back then on Warcraft 3. It's called 100 Rounds. The concept is like you basically just dodge things each round, and you try to get through all 100 rounds. And this can be actually played on my LLC website. So actually, at the same time, I created Sheep Labs LLC because once I saw that TableMesh, the potential in TableMesh, I was like, I gotta make this legit. So started my own LLC. Um, Even put in a trademark application for TableMesh. Um, and here is the website sheeplabs.io. So here it's gonna also document like what I've built so far. The stock trading tool is not really public facing, so I didn't include it here. But for the game, you can actually click on here and start playing. Basically, you're this like little ball that you can control with your mouse or keyboard, and you just dodge things each round. So I won't go too much into this. Uh, and then finally, the thing I've been working on the past 2 weeks, while trying to set up my marketing team for TableMesh, is I started a drop shipping. So VeraTails is basically a pet store that I created that does drop shipping from AliExpress. Also, this one actually came from a prompt where I was like, "Hey, Manus, if I gave you $500," and Manus is another AI tool. I was like, "What can we build that can actually generate some money, right? Like either break even with a $500 budget." And it came up with the idea of drop shipping. So again, I followed all the prompts and actually launched a pet store that so far I've made 4 sales in my first week, actually. So that's also very cool. I'll share that in the deep dive videos. Um, so going to the next slide, I want to just share like what are the main AI tools I've used. So Claude AI, I mentioned a lot. This is how I got started. It's very cheap. Manus is another AI that can actually, I would say Manus, I like Manus the most actually because it's almost like a real employee. It can do a lot of things on its own. It has its own like server, so it's almost like it can do all the dev work. It can open the browser, and even like directly push changes to your GitHub. I think Claude can now do some of that, but like when I first started like 3 months ago, it couldn't. So Manus has been doing most of the work for me. And mostly the selling point for me was that it can push to GitHub directly. Um, so during the TableMesh building, Manus actually did most of that. Claude started it. Manus kind of did all the implementation. And I actually like Manus was the one that helped me transform the website into the app. So Claude actually built the website, but Manus built the app. And then once the app was built, there was also like things you had to do on your local PC to get your code into the App Store and Play Store. So from there, I also didn't know how to do those things, so I had to use another AI that runs off of Visual Studio Code called Copilot, and I think Copilot costed me another $100. Oh yeah, and Manus is actually very expensive though. Manus is I think I did the $100 a month for 20K tokens, and I ran out of tokens like super duper fast. Building an app definitely like uses a lot. So I think the first month I might have used like 200 to $300, and then the good thing is like you can upgrade and downgrade before each month. So you can always like if you need more credit, you just upgrade it, and then before the next month you just downgrade it back to the basic level if you want. And then I also utilize the free chat GPT and Gemini on just like consulting, brainstorming, and I actually use Gemini to help me set up my LLC, just like guided me through like all the steps I had to take. So these were like the main AI tools. And in my deep dive videos, I'll also show more AI tools that I use for my initial marketing ideas. So before I hired a marketing team, I also did like some AI generated stuff to see how well that did. Um, I probably should have shown this slide while I was talking through like the more specifics of each tool. So we won't go over that. Um, and here's like what I learned. Like um, AI basically enables people without coding skills, right? Like it's like if you have the idea, you can actually just generate it now. AI does everything. I would say like almost at a senior software developer level. Like I'm just so impressed. Um, I don't think it's there yet where it's like it's gonna be perfect. Like very complex things or like back end like security and all that. Like eventually, I'll probably have to like hire like real software developers to ensure that everything is good. But still, like, dude, it took me 3 months to build a whole damn app, 5 different apps actually. Um, and what I've learned doing table mesh is just like start with an idea. You don't have to figure out everything all at once. You can always just keep improving on it. Like just do it, right? Like Uh, I think the thing is like a lot of people like are just too scared to start. I feel like so like AI is such a great opportunity right now, and if you're the first to use it, I think that's where the money is. So I mean, I can't really say too much yet because I haven't really been making money, but like I do see the potential. And hopefully I do eventually make money. I'm actually getting a little bit tired talking so much, so I'll probably just end that here. Um, but yeah, what's next? So I'll start doing deep dive videos, and I'll probably skip the model builder tools because it's such a niche thing that I don't think anyone cares about. I think the trading bot is pretty cool. I think the table mesh definitely will be my longest video. There's just so much that went on with that. The 100 rounds, I might skip that one too. And I think drop shipping is also really cool. But there's also like so many videos out there on drop shipping, and I didn't actually watch any of those before I started building. I built the drop shipping, then I looked at all the drop shipping videos out there, but I'll probably just make my own just to show like the results and what I did and where we are. So if you are interested, please subscribe and maybe just comment like which one you want me to deep dive first. All right, thank you all. See you.